Okay, so we'll go for our next part of algebra, which will be solving linear equations. So you'll see these two words in algebra. You'll see expression, which means a group of numbers and letters and stuff together that have no equals sign. So an expression has no equals sign, whereas in an equation, you do have this equals sign in it. Okay, so an expression might be just something like 2x squared plus 4x. Doesn't actually mean anything. You don't know what x is. But in an equation, you have this equals sign, which means that you can find out what this x is. So if you see a question with an equals sign in it, the chances are it means you have to find out what x is going to be. Okay, so we are able to manipulate equations to get the variable by itself. So the variable is x, or it could be p or q or y or something. But we can manipulate these. We can add, subtract, multiply and divide to get the variable by itself. Now, when you are doing this, there is a key rule that you always need to remember. What you do to one side of the equal sign, you must do to the other side. Imagine it like a scales, you know? You need to keep the whole thing balanced. So if you add something onto one side of a scale, in order to keep it balanced, you have to keep the same amount on the other side. Same again, if you have two things, to keep it balanced, it needs to be the same. Same goes if you're removing things. If you remove one, you're going to have to remove one from the other side as well. So what you do to one side of the equals, the left-hand side, you have to do to the right-hand side as well. So keep that in mind. Okay, so what you're trying to get in the end is letters only on one side of the equals, usually the left, but it doesn't have to be, and numbers only on the other side of the equals. So you want to finish up with something like, 2x equals 4 or x equals 2. You want to finish up with things like that so that you can find out what the x is. Right, so I've got 4 sets of these to go through. I'll go through them and then leave it for you to try a bit. So first of all, very simple and straightforward ones. You've got 2x equals 4. So in order to find 2 multiplied by something equals 4, you can clearly see that it's 2 multiplied by 2 is 4. But what we'd often do is we'd actually say we divide by the number in front of the x. So divide by number in front of x. This will become useful later. So we do 2 divided by 2, and that will cancel out, and you're just left with 1x equals 4 divided by 2, which is 2. Okay, so again, we'll just be doing the same with this. Divide by 3 on both sides, and you're going to be left with x equals 5. Of course, you can do these ones in your head, but it's good to have the method ready for the longer and more awkward ones. 8x is minus 32, so divide by 8, divide by 8, and you're left with x equals, and be careful here, you see the minus, so x is going to be minus 4. So those are very easy. You can probably do them in your head. So we'll move on to the next one. Okay, so the next type is where you've got a number and a variable together. So that means you've got a letter and a number in these questions. Again, you can probably do them in your head. 2x plus 4 equals 6. So you just think 2 plus 4 equals 6. So x is going to be equal to 1. But let's do it the way with the whole methods. So you want to subtract 4 from here to get x by itself. But remember, because you've done it to one side of the equals, you have to do it to the other side. So you create a little sum. 4 minus 4 is 0. So you're left with just 2x equals 6 minus 4, which is 2. So 2 multiplied by what is 2? We can divide by 2 or just do it in your head. We've got x equals 1. Okay, so remember, what you do to one side of the equals, you must do to the other. So if you go to the right-hand side here now, we have 3x minus 5 equals 16. So let's get rid of this 5 by plussing 5, but we have to do it to the other side as well. Some people call this the Great Wall of maths. That, you do something to one side of the wall, you have to do it to the other side of the wall. So again, we're just left with 3x here. Those 5s will cancel out, is 21. And finally, we're going to divide by 3. So divide by 3, and we're left with x equals 7. So again, fairly easy ones. You can probably do it in your head, but it's where we get on to the next ones that there'll be a bit more stuff going on. Okay, so this is where you end up with a variable. So that's your x, or it's not always an x, but you end up with that and a number on each side. Now, you can do it one thing at a time, but I actually find it easier to get rid of the letters on one side and the numbers on the other side. So I usually try and keep the letters on the left. Doesn't matter, but I find that the easiest. So let's get rid of this number. So -6. But you've -6 from the left-hand side. So it means you're also going to have to -6 from the right-hand side. Okay, so that one's sorted out. But you're going to be left with this 5x here. So let's get rid of that so you have no x's on this side. So the opposite of 5x is -5x. Because you've done it to this side of the equals, you're also going to have to do it over here. Okay, so now you're left with two little sums. So 2x minus 5x will leave you with -3x. Your 6's will cancel, your 5x's will cancel, then -12 minus 6 will be -18. Okay, and then you're just going to finish up by dividing by the number in front of the x. So the number in front of the x is -3. Don't forget that minus, a lot of people will forget that. So you need to divide it by here. And you're left with just x by itself is equal to, and these minuses will cancel out, and you'll be left with just 6. Okay, same method on the other side then. 4x minus 17 equals 2x plus 11. Again, let's get rid of this 17. So plus 17 plus 17. And let's get rid of our 2x on the right-hand side. So minus 2x minus 2x. That leaves you with two little sums to do. 4 minus 2 is going to leave you with 2x. 17's will cancel. 2x's will cancel. 11 plus 17 will give you 28. So 2x is 28. And finally, divide by the number in front of the x. Divide by 2. Divide by 2. And you're left with x equals 14. Okay, so even though the earlier on ones were very easy, you see why I do the whole minusing and dividing thing, because it gives you a very strict method for here. So get rid of the numbers on one side, get rid of the letters on the other, and then it will be left with an easy sum. Okay, just one more type now before we finish up. This is where we have the ones with brackets. So if you remember how to multiply your brackets, you're always going to have to do that first. Multiply or expand the brackets first. Okay, so we've got 4 by 2x will give us 8x. 4 by minus 3 will give us minus 12. Equals, now multiply this bracket, 6x and minus 10. Okay, once you've done that, it's all the same as before, but it's just important to remember to expand the brackets first. So we're going to plus 12 to get rid of that, plus 12 there to keep it balanced, get our wall. Okay, and then on this side we want to get rid of our x's, so minus 6x minus 6x. So that'll give us 8 minus 6, will leave us with 2x, 12's will cancel, 6's will cancel. Minus 10 plus 12, just be careful here now, it'll leave us just with 2. Okay, so because it's minus 10 plus 12, and this is leaving us with a nice, you can divide by 2, you can see very clearly that x is just equal to 1 here. And the last example that I will go through now, again, you have to multiply brackets, so 4 by x will give you 4x, 4 by minus 2 will give you minus 8. Now, you've got this minus 9 here with nothing, so it's just going to stay as it is. So 4x minus 8 minus 9 equals, now again we've got a 3 here doing nothing, but it'll just stay as it is. Now minus bracket x, so you can imagine there's a 1 in front of there, so it becomes minus x minus 5. Right, we can't just change things yet, because as you can see, you've got like terms on either side. So you've got like terms on this side and like terms on that side. So you need to group the like terms first. Okay, so remember, like terms are the ones that have the same, so the same letter or the same number without a letter. So we'll leave ourselves with 4x minus 17 equals, then we've got minus x, then 3 minus 5 will be minus 2. Okay, and now we can finish off and do things as we've been doing already. Okay, so get rid of your 17 on both sides. So minus 17, change it to a plus. And on the other side, let's plus an x. So remember, if there's no letter, or sorry, if there's no number, it's just as if there's a 1. So plus x here, leaving us with our two wee sums. So we've got 5x, all the same, 17's cancel, x's cancel, equals 15. So minus 2 plus 17 is 15. And let's finish off by dividing by 5. Or doing it in your head, and we're left with x equals 3. Okay, I've gone through quite a number of these and we're nearly at 10 minutes here, but just so that you can have a go yourself. I just have a few ones that you can do yourselves here. So if you want to pause the video and take a look at these for a second, I will just delete them now and you'll be able to see the answers. So just give a few seconds. Right, go into these first three first. You can see them. They're just ones where you have to add and subtract from both sides. So delete that. You can see whether you got the right answers there. And the bottom ones, this is ones where you have to multiply out the brackets first. So you're going to have to do the multiplications here, then simplify as well. So these ones are slightly harder. Should be able to, solutions now, delete. Okay, you can take a look and see if you got the right answers there. So that'll do us for this one. Hopefully you get a good grasp of solving linear equations from here. Okay.